Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I hope so far everyone is enjoying their Virgo season. We're soon gonna be in Libra season, so basically all of the clearing and purification things that Virgo makes us do, all of the organization will lead us to making decisions and crystallizing those decisions. And in Scorpio season, then we're going to basically suffer because of the decisions we've made. And just kidding. But yeah, that's kind of the astrological movement. So I hope you've been enjoying your Virgo season, and in the spirit of Virgo and upcoming Libra energy, let's do a reevaluation reading. I'm gonna call this Soul Evolution pick a card because I really wanna try to give you a perspective on how far you've come and what's next. So we're channeling your higher self, your spirit team of guides. This reading is specifically targeted towards my starseeds and earth angels. Those of you who are very conscious of having a mission on earth, you're not just randomly here. And I mean, none of us are, but not all of us are conscious about that. So, this is going to be your evolution pick a card. We're going to track your journey, how far you've come on your evolution, what you've learned, what you're going to gain from that, what you're going to let go of, where you're moving on from now on, where are you moving towards. So, all about your soul evolution, basically. That's the general theme of the pick card, and of course I always hold space for any other sort of message. So as I mentioned, we're channeling your higher self along with your team of guides, ancestors, even star family. You can expect any spirit with a benevolent intention that wants to communicate to you, with you, to come through. So just be open-minded about that. And yeah, let's get into the pile picking. So we have three piles as per usual. We have these two pouches. Now, pile number one, you're gonna be the purple pouch, which is super beautiful velvet. Um, it's made out of this velvety cloth. So this is gonna be pile one. I don't know how good you can see because I don't have a vision of what my camera is filming, but I'm sure you can see the pouch. We even have the astrological signs here. We have Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Pisces. I like that they're randomly thrown. So we have pile one. Pile two, you guys are the darker pouch with the illustration on top, with the graphic design on top. Look how beautiful this is. This is from an Etsy deck, and I used the pouch for my decks that didn't have a box. So this is a gift from one of you guys, one of my subscribers, and a client. This I love very, very much. Pile 2, you're gonna be represented by this pouch. And pile 3, you guys are going to work with the accurate AF tarot. I love the statement. The creator of the tarot knew what they were doing. This is gonna be the accurate AF tarot, so prepare for some accurate AF information. Alright, so pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, you can find your timestamp in the description box below, as well as the comment section. I'm already kind of getting excited for the reading, so don't mind me stumbling over my words. I try to always correct myself if I make any grammatical English errors, if I catch myself. So pile 1, 2, 3, go into your timestamp, and I'll see you in your pile. Hello, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's get into it. I have no idea how this reading is going to go. I have no particular way of organizing the decks I'm going to use. So I just know I'm going to start off with the tarot and take it from there. And I hope you resonate with the approach and especially the messages. So let's see what Spirit has to give us generally about your journey so far. We're going to kind of create past, present, future spread to see how far you've come on your evolution. On your evolution path. Let's see. So evolution spirit for pile number 1. I'm hearing a lot of solar. That's the word I'm hearing. I'm getting a lot of reference to the sun and to gold and to deities, which is interesting. So yeah, definitely deities associated with the sun and with gold and the worship of gold. Some of you, I think, have ancestors or interest in the American land and the gold. Especially, I'm getting a lot of South America and gold digging. I am not sure if this is historically accurate or more so geographically accurate in terms of were there resources of gold in the Americas, but I'm getting this message. Usually when I think of gold, I think of Egypt, but with you, it's not. It wasn't the first thing that came to mind. It's kind of like the second thing that comes to mind. Your spirit guides are also saying that this is how you work with your intuition. A lot of the times, you get a message, but usually the answer is not the first thing that you discover or think of. It's usually the second. It's usually the second trial, the second discovery you make, the second epiphany you have. It is usually a lot more accurate, and your guides are saying that they're doing this not because they're trying to make it difficult for you to understand your journey or the messages you receive and the synchronicities, but they're teaching you to discern between information that is almost habitual or installed in you by external forces and information that actually comes from within. Okay, I feel like there's a guide saying that a group of you has gotten much better over the years with discerning information, so now it becomes more often and more often that you get the right answer at first trial, but it's just this, like, first answer being wrong, second answer being more accurate is just a mechanism you've been using, especially before. Some of you still do, but especially before, it was the way you were working out your intuitive insights. Because your guides want you to question pile 1. I feel like this is a huge part of your evolution, questioning. Oh, see, sorry. I'm hearing knighthood. The noble knights. This is interesting. It seems like some of you have had past incarnations involved in the distribution field, and almost like a code name being a knight was used. Journey. Yes, you did travel all over the country, and you were establishing systems and groups, a network around the entire continent. It seems like you're traveling throughout many countries, but those of you who were especially in America, you were going through the entire continent and even beyond. So a huge part of your mission was to establish this mental network that operated together even from a distance, because these are older lifetimes when technology was not developed. There weren't telephone lines, nothing like that. It's quite in our past, historically speaking. Templar. I'm hearing the Templars. Oh my gosh, yes. 4 of Pentacles and 8 of Wands. Distribution of resources. That is a huge part of your evolution, so you may have a lot of Taurus Scorpio placements. A little bit of Leo there as well. But yeah, Taurus and Scorpio for the most part, because these are the astrological signs dealing with resources and sharing resources, the acquisition and the sharing of resources. A huge part of your mission as light workers is to establish systems that are practical and work. So, whether this is in the spiritual field, in the artistic field, in the psychological field, in the financial, scientific, doesn't matter. You have this ability and you're not afraid to go on the journey, to take the long road. But you see the purpose of establishing a system, and no matter how long it takes, if you really deeply believe it's going to work, it's going to be useful and practical, and people are going to be able to benefit from it and apply it, and it's something smart, you're willing to go for it. So your guides are really congratulating you on and applauding you on this ability to um, see the establishment of a system or structure through, see that journey through, see it come about, see it manifest. You have the willingness to incarnate in the span of a couple of lifetimes and be engaged with the same thing, basically continue the legacy until it's done, and until your purposes is done, until your work basically is done. So you're someone who is willing to put in the effort, it seems. I'm hearing with the sun, I'm getting for some reason crystalline crystals and Christ, like those, that linguistic chain of words. Yes, I think you had a fate. Now the sun doesn't. I know I channeled deities, and it could be you met a lot of religious tribes and native people that worshipped the sun, worshipped gold, but thanks to them, you learned about the abundance of the land, and I think you used your own faith to make this abundance available for everyone. And you have the Knight of Swords here. Which indicates you went on a journey to spread the word about this idea of yours. I do see a little corruption, so it looks like your soul, your spirit is suffering a little bit from exploiting your initial ideas. But what I heard earlier about using your faith, I also heard some of you have this like an energetic template that protects you, that is very connected to a religion. And I don't know if you guys are religious or not, but there is a protection stemming from having faith in some particular doctrine. So your soul is really calling you to dig deeper into that system of the laws this doctrine is giving, kind of the rules, and the guidance. It seems like you must return to it. That's what I'm getting. Return to your faith, because there's been some frustration in your heart, and now you're learning to surrender to the fact that maybe something that had initially good intentions was exploited. You're learning to surrender, forgive, and find a better way to continue with your mission, because your mission is still about establishing systems and being on that journey and spreading the word about something. A huge part of your mission is spreading resources and spreading words or information about something particular you believe in. There are some karmic contracts with siblings, brothers especially. It's like you've been building walls between each other, and for some reason I'm getting prison here. I always get prison with this card. So I don't know if there was an ancestor in your family that was sentenced to prison, or they were almost going to go and they didn't. But something about this is coming up in the cards. Now, this can be a very selected, a message for very selected few of you. Let's see the present. Spirit, can you show us the present, please? Yes, you guys are the one in present feeling like you're unable to share your truth because you're under someone's control or something's control. The Lovers. Oh, that is interesting. Underneath fight with the Knight of Swords, we have the Lovers. So, you know, surrendering, peace, love, harmony, reconciliation. Currently, you're learning to relate to people and you're learning to reconcile differences with people. Because we have the outsider with the Five of Pentacles. So being too protective with your knowledge or with your mission, feeling like nobody understands it and not wanting to share, is preventing you from coming into union with soulmates that are supposed to be part of this journey. You're no longer meant to walk on the journey alone. I feel like at the beginning you were walking alone on that journey because you were Mercury. You were the process or the force that was uniting many different dots on the map, many different teams, alright, of people. So you were the force creating the network, but you weren't necessarily in the network, so you weren't connecting with people like that. And in this lifetime, you are becoming part of the network. You are becoming more intimately involved. It's more emotional than it was in the past. We have reincarnation with the Ten of Swords. Absolutely, yes, it is more emotional because you guys have evolved outside of the mentality that you only need to take care of things on the physical plane. So now it's more emotional and moral and all of that because you've been growing, progressing, and you've realized the power of putting your heart into something, and that putting your heart into something and your love into something is a better protection than trying to intellectually map out your enemies and map out your friends and map out your allies. Basically, throughout your incarnations you've grown more into investing emotionally into things and relating to things and people. It's so cool because I do see the heart and mind connection happening with the Lovers, and I think that the Ten of Swords is confirming that something difficult you've been through was really worth it. And I don't want to touch on sensitive topics at all, but your spirits are really trying to show you that it was so worth it. We really hope you see that. We really hope you see that it was worth it. So let's see, where are you going, pile one? Oh my gosh, I love that. So we have maturity with the Ace of Pentacles, we have participation with the Four of Wands, and we have projections with the Seven of Cups. Where you guys are going is, I think, you are uniting people, making them work together. For some reason, I do see seances or just group projects, group work. And with the projection, I don't, with this deck, I kind of look more at the imagery rather than the tarot meanings. So with the Seven of Cups, instead of like illusions or projections, are actually think that you're seeing people more for who they truly are, because you start to see their aura, their energy. You're even merging with people, which is very interesting. I think that many of you guys are invited from a solitary journey to become part of a group journey, of a collective thing, of a network that moves together. It's like you're invited in a society, you are invited in a group. Maybe group meditations and group healing is something that you're supposed to do, and it's part of your evolution. Because it looks to me like you were very protective of yourself, and that's why you were doing things alone. And now the more you connect with your heart and the more you heal those vulnerabilities, the readier you are to connect with other people. But especially, I feel like you're going to work on establishing a structure, or even a business or a school or a system that connects people who are different, but you share the same moral and ethical core. And that's why you relate so much on a soul level. It's not even relating on the level of the personality, like your preferences, likes and dislikes. It's more spiritual and energetic. It's like you're just connected. So a huge part of this network setting, now your evolution has brought you so far that you're manifesting the same mission but in a different way. So now you're creating a network where it's based on the heart and love and ascension. I feel like in the past you were creating a network that was supposed to make us work things out on the material plane. Now you're leaning more and more and more towards a network that is working together towards ascending out of the material plane. This is your next orientation, and that is just the general overlook of your evolution. Now, for different people of you, this will look different. How, in what field you created the network. So we're going to look at this with other decks, but this is what I'm so far getting from the cards. Whoa, that is kind of deep. I do see you in your past lives, quite ancient past lives. Not ancient, but very far into the past of our history. This definitely seems to be after Christ in time period, um, but it's very far in the past. And I'm hearing that you're part of a faith or a religious setup that had something to do with the mythology around the reptilians. And I don't think it's Christianity per se, like the snake in the Garden of Eden or whatever. I think it's a different religion, and I'm seeing a connection to the reptilian um, symbol, archetypal imagery, and so on and so on. The reptilian myth was part and it was I think a core aspect of the dogma, or the core of the religion here, the core of why you believed in what you believed in. So it's even possible you were part of those native tribes. Um, Many of them worshipped sun deities and then also reptilian deities. Maybe you were part of those Native American tribes, but you broke free from them to go distribute resources, or to even go create a network of shamans or something like that. This is also possible. So you see, it's not just about distributing material resources, it's also about distributing something you are holding precious to your culture and your religious faith. Now, this religious faith could even be paganistic spirituality, but it was still some type of doctrine you followed, and perhaps the precious assets and resources were things you knew from your faith, healing abilities, services, and you went off to establish this network on the continent. But it looks to me like you're transitioning from worship into more into the self, not in a selfish way, but you're no longer so dependent on gods and deities. You're more dependent on you, and this is even what your guides are encouraging, I believe, to be more dependent on you and the group of souls that you create something with, rather than external um, forces. This thing you establish can have to do with botanical studies, herbal studies, holistic herbal medicine, or something like that, even Chinese medicine, Asian medicine, and you could unite with other researchers in those fields, and through energy work be able to find what needs healing within people, and be able to provide an energetic slash spiritual and a physical a remedy for any issue people were experiencing. So like this bioenergetic scan that you can do and see where they have issues or diseases or blockages, and being able to provide with a remedy. This is also something I see to be part of pile one's evolution. So now I'm trying to get more specific on the fields I particularly see in the cards. Okay. Messages for balance evolution. Wow. No way. So first of all, we have number 11, and we have each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. Pile one, I think that this just matches perfectly the cards. I asked for some guidance, I was in my mind asking, please give us guidance on pile one's evolution, and like, you have to give up who you think you are. So this is who you thought you were. Solitary, I will do this alone. People need the physical practical system or whatever. Now it's changing. You are evolving, and I think that this card is also calling you to forgive yourself, or to forgive for your beliefs in your past lives, because you may think that you weren't thinking from your higher self in some of your previous incarnations, or even maybe you think that your ancestors were not spiritual enough, or tuned in enough, intuitive enough, and they were thinking from a place of ego or whatever it is. Maybe some of you think that in your past lives you were more materialistic, or your ancestors were more materialistic, but basically Spirit is saying that you should forgive yourself, because at that time that was the mindset you needed, and it was the best you knew. So don't judge yourself on the knowledge you've acquired now, because this is a very unfair way to judge yourself and to measure your growth, or to measure the quality of your character in the past. You really shouldn't measure the quality of your soul and how it used to be in its past lives based on what you know now. This is very unfair to do, and you're being reminded of that. So you're not only learning to relate to others, you're learning to relate to yourself before as well, so that you can express compassion to that. You are the divine Y point, where two paths become one. You are basically the central pillar. You are the present moment and who you are now. At 32 and 11, you have a lot of master numbers, so you could be working with the ascended masters, especially when it comes to learning about the subtle bodies of the human and healing those, working within those. But who you are in the present is the unification point for your past and future self, and that's why you should contain as much love as possible, because your past self and your future self are both looking at you now, because your past self is aspiring to become you, so it's manifesting you, and your future self is reminiscing or healing you or judging you. So it's very important that you hold as much love as you potentially can. Fulfill your destiny as a cosmic change maker. Absolutely. Those of you who are on a starseed journey and you may not have a very direct or obvious contact with your family or with your guides, and you might be confused what your purpose is, this is just a confirmation that you are this cosmic change maker. You are here with a celestial purpose, alright? You are here to contribute, really, not just to the evolution of you or your soul, but the entire planet and the planetary system, our star system. How can this be a wonderful win-win-win? Oh, well, that's interesting. You have 15 and 60, so we have this growth going on. We have a lot of orange. Remember, each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. So an aspect of you must die. You're giving up something, you're letting go of something, you're quote unquote losing something. And how can this be a wonderful win-win-win? How can you win whilst losing? Well, while you lose a lot of your human labels, you gain a lot more of your soul and a lot more of your truth. And it's very funny because you may end up realize you're someone you never thought you were, but that was, and this can sometimes create a little bit of dissociation when we integrate our soul. Some aspects of our human nature can die off, and they can become a little basically they can fade into the background a little bit more, and we may feel like we're dissociating from who we used to be before. That's why you need love in order to reintegrate even those aspects of you that you're letting move on and die and disintegrate. Bring them back, and not through embodying them, but through just loving them and accepting them within other people. But yeah, it's strange because when we do this soul integration, we become a truer version of ourselves, but we feel like we're not ourselves because it's so different than who we used to be, and we can be confused between who is really me. And maybe the best way to answer this, at least until you can make a clear distinction and decision, is you're both. Currently, you're both. Reconcile both of these sides of you. That's why you have Gemini or the lovers right in the center of this reading, because you can see we have this zigzag going on, and the lovers are right in the center. So you can win only if you love the part you've lost. Okay, how are you continuing your work from now on? Let's go get some extra messages. The dimensions in which your evolution will continue. Let's see. This is the Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. I love to use it when I talk about different dimensions on the astral plane. Aurora Garden, beginning, initiate, and origin. So your evolution is going more and more towards your initial origins, or the origin of your initiation. So definitely you're going more to astral schools, getting to know your teachers, getting to know the ones that initiated you, and you're preparing for a new initiation. Okay, let's see what this is. The Oracle, sacred living, spirit speaking, and intervention, and fairy energy, growth, expansion, and a flowering. The fairies are very connected to the garden energy as well. And I don't know why, but I connect this Aurora card. I've always felt like it has a Lyran, Andromedan, and Arcturian connection, if that makes sense. Like, I get these three come together, unified for some reason. So Lyra, Andromeda, and Arcturus kind of merging. It's like you guys are uniting your starseed origins and the stars you're connecting with. You're trying to blend all of them, and through that blend create a very unique mission. Very unique mission. I definitely see botanical stuff connecting to flowers and flower energy. So gardening can connect you to the elementals and the fairies. And I think that this consciousness has been calling to you to connect with it. I think it's gonna be your next way of divination. If some of you are oracles or mediums, mystics, psychics, intuitives, or whatever, you're just going into those realms. I think that the flowers and the plant life and the mineral life and the elemental spirits, fairies, they have been connecting with you. And some fairy energy is a little mischievous, so what you can expect when you connect with it is a little playfulness, a little mischief. It's like connecting with a child, honestly. And actually, Gemini energy is very fairy-like. Gemini risings are known to be very playful, a little mischievous, and they're like these little elves or fairies. Sometimes they would even look like fairies and elves, Gemini risings. They can be very small or very, very tall. But, of course, not everyone. Just mentioning this in case some of you have that Gemini placement in a particular, in a prominent place in your chart. I definitely see that connection to the fairy kingdom. And you can start divinating through herbs, flowers, in your garden, through connecting with the elementals, through really getting to know the spirit within water, within air, within fire, within earth. And some of your connection to the fairies and nature, or even botanical research, can lead to, this is strange, but you're connecting trees or plant life, fairies, all of these things I mentioned, with harmony and notes and music. I do see this in vibration. So there's an inspiration for music or chanting by working with the fairy kingdom and the elemental kingdom. Your guides are saying that that's exactly what you're mastering. You're mastering to mix the four elements together. So your creativity, your intellect, your actions, and your practicality all in one. And that is the best way to approach anything. So your guides are saying that you're onto something. Don't disregard it as not special or even childish or fantastical, because what you're doing is you're preparing yourself to learn how to lay out a foundation that has the four elements blended into it. And any system, astrology, tarot, Kabbalah, and many others, human design, any system will have to combine all four elements to be stable and to be applied in all dimensions, because that's what makes a system or a methodology useful. So yeah, Andromeda, Lyra, and Arcturus. I'll mention them again. I want you to remember them. They may come through, these beings may come through when you work with the elementals, or when you work in your garden, when you work with fairy spirits. And they might be guiding you in your practices, especially healing practices. And don't get me wrong, this approach can inspire you to be a great financial consultant, a great advocate, a great mother, father, daughter, son, whatever. This can be really applied to any role you want to occupy for the most of your time. So don't limit yourself to having to be some spiritual healer, because spiritual healing can take place in many, many fields. And with the Aurora Garden, I'm being given this vision almost like a very thin, ethereal veil falling right on top of your physical reality. And it's like you dress up your physical reality with spirit or with the higher dimensions, and the dimensions are starting to bleed through, just like these northern lights here. It's almost like the dimensions bleed through one another, and at some places you can see that cloth, that ethereal veil, reveal some higher dimensional aspect in your 3D life. I'm trying to paint you a visual picture here of what I'm getting. Literally, almost transparent, sparkly lilac veil fall on top of every material thing in your life. Your cup of coffee, your table, your floor, your apartment, you yourself, the people around you. And this veil is like an energetic layer that is allowing you to, it's like this very special layer that is making everything see through, and you're able to see through the energy of the matrix and beyond it, which is a really cool vision. I wish, oh my god, I hope most of you can you get what I mean, but I wish I could just paint this, animate it, and show it to you how exactly it looks in my third eye. So that's what I have for you, pile one. I hope you so far enjoyed, and I hope that this is giving you some useful guidance and messages. Let me know how you resonated in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share my video with your friends or people who are into spirituality. Sharing my content is maybe the best way to support me. You can also support me by donating to my Ko-fi link in the description box or my PayPal link. I have both of them in the description box. So that's it. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So let's see. How far has your intuition gotten you up until this point? We're going to do a short past, present, future spread. Short, I mean, it's gonna be the most part of the reading, but the biggest part of the reading. The Full Child. Okay. No, I don't want these two. So what this is showing me is that your evolution, specifically here on Earth, and your soul evolution, I think that Earth is... Your evolution on Earth is reflective. It's just a more material manifestation of your general evolution throughout star systems. Now, with the Full Child, this is giving me a very... I'm hearing a natural. The beginning of your incarnations here, you were born as a naturally good at something, naturally inclined towards something. Oh, this just fell off. 8 of Crystals or 8 of Pentacles. Synthesis. Yes, you brought a lot of synthesized knowledge and power and skills right off the bat. So it's very likely you are the type of people who are born. They're just born with the talents. Of course, everybody requires to work with their talents to hone them, but you're just born with quite a broad capacity. Okay, just naturally. I see a lot of revolution and riots being part of your journey. Woman of Crystals, Guardian, reversed. I feel like I want it reversed. Although, I'm gonna keep in mind the reversal, but I'm gonna turn it like that so I can look at the imagery, because it really helps. Alright, you guys are channeling chaos, and I'm gonna mention this very carefully. I do think some of you were involved with in ancient incarnations with some chaos magic, which is something you are learning from. With the synthesis, because you were naturally born, your abilities were a little uncontrollable, and it seems that throughout incarnations you learned to control them, and you developed a very strong relationship to one particular spirit guide, a guardian. So I have this one pick a card. I will try to insert it in in this portion of the video, so you have a direct link to it. But I had this pick a card reading when I channeled a consciousness group that called themselves the Guardians, and you may want to watch this reading, but what I'm saying is that you have tapped into this consciousness group, the Guardians, because you needed to train, especially how to regulate your emotions and your abilities and your powers, which are directly connected to your emotions. So you're definitely connecting with the Guardians, and if some of you feel like you've been blocked with your expression, with your gifts, or if you feel like you have a hard time expressing your feelings, I do think it's nice to ask your Guardians to allow more flow, because I feel like you have these guides that they have been holding back from training you full-blown properly. So it seems like you guys have to make a statement. You are ready for the next stage. Ace of Wands. Wow, illumination. I love how trippy this is, like the hand, and you can see right through it. I love this. Yeah, but there is war here. That's interesting. Oh my god, totally, totally world wars. Some of you have been incarnated during the world wars, and some of you have even fought in them. Um, Especially I'm getting a lot of Japanese culture. So maybe you've had incarnations as a Japanese person, or someone who fought against the Japanese, had to fight against them, the Americans, for example. But yeah, I'm getting Japanese here, a contact with that culture, and I'm getting a lot of revolutions. We have the Four of Crystals, logic. This is the Four of Pentacles. You're tapping into something here. I wonder what this is. I feel like some of you are very connected to the medical field, but don't get this mistaken. I'm particularly getting the scientific medical field, not necessarily the holistic or more spiritual field of healing. I'm getting something very much about the anatomy of the body. I'm even getting engineering here, so it feels like some of you have been granted amazing powers and gifts because you're here to prevent or to be part of associations and groups that prevent war, famine, disasters, that prevent conflict and revolution. You're here to really unify people. So I think you might be studying the social sciences or even politics, um, anything of that nature, to be quite honest. It's like you do have esoteric origins when it comes to your past lives, but now you're channeling this almost already fundamental, like basic intuition that you have, and you will always have that. You're channeling this intuition in completely different fields. Fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. Okay. Celebration. I'm seeing a lot of work in the Middle East and Asia in general. Um, I'm seeing a lot of uniting cultures, so traveling, to research, to study cultures, to unite them somehow is also part of what I see you guys doing in the present moment. There is this other thing as well where I do see some of you have special contracts about commitment or relationships, because I feel like you couldn't have that in most of your past lives. You were cut off from the relationship early in life, whether through spontaneous death or you were just split from your loved one. And I see that in this lifetime. I know your purpose may feel big. um I'm getting a lot of Mars and Pluto energy with you, and Neptune as well. But I want you to really allow yourself to be a happy human being, apart from being this special soul with a big mission and a big purpose and a lot of goals, perhaps, in regards to that purpose. I really want you to allow yourself happiness, because it's part of the reasons why you came down here, to kind of experience the things you didn't get to experience and just be peaceful about it, no longer wonder and be curious um and basically feel unfulfilled, okay, with your experiences. You have courage, Seven of Wands, for the future. Yes, I do see a lot of like fighting for Earth, fighting against disasters and a revolution, as I said. So it seems like you will be defending your land in the future. I think you've come to incarnate with strong views on either politics or philosophies, or you must strengthen those views, because I see that the continuation of your revolution is about fighting for the rights of Earth. To be quite honest, that is, it's not even just human rights or anything like that. It's the rights of the planet, and especially land, like your national land. That's something you seem to have to protect. You do have a lot of Eastern philosophy in your psyche, so maybe reading some of that up will remind you of your values, and it will remind you and help you to reconnect with your purpose. I don't know if you can see the cards down here, so let me just fix the spread a little bit. Hold on. I really want to organize it in this way. But I see celebration. The Emperor. Okay. As you can see, I'm not taking reversals because I don't feel it, especially in this deck. When I use collaged tarot like this, I don't like reversed cards because they don't give me much to work with. Because they don't necessarily bear the traditional symbols, and it's difficult to read them like this. You have the Dead, and you have Man of Worlds, the Achiever. Well, I think that this is the World card, but I'm not sure, to be quite honest. Alright. Masking is coming up a lot. Dead. I see most of you being part of very innovative, leading fields. And yes, with that Emperor, definitely part of your next stage of your evolution is about protecting your land, protecting your nationality, defending the national interests. I know this sounds very political. I'm not usually a very political person, but for some reason we're getting there, because I suppose you need it. I suppose you have some karmic entanglements with that. But I do see a reunion between the Western and the Eastern views for you. It's like you're integrating the masculine and the feminine on a more worldly plane. You know, you're applying these principles more globally, and when it comes to social movements, and you're trying to integrate both of them. I do see research about civilizations that have disappeared, that have died, that you'll be doing a lot more in your future. There is some channeling here of guides and teachers from past civilizations. Atlantean, Lemurian, you know the gist, with the races that have been before us. And if you don't, I highly recommend searching root races. That term can give you a lot of information to dig out. But I do see some channeling of great priests or masters from past on civilizations on Earth, and even it seems like your channeling or your research will line up with recent archaeological discoveries. and it's almost as if you're turning something that was considered crazy or mad or too far-fetched, you're turning it into something synthesized. Exactly. Your power of synthesis is no longer gonna be applied to just to you. It's, you guys are like magicians, but in the past you were applying that magician uh, process of synthesizing everything into one powerful um, compressed point of energy. Instead of doing that, you're now applying the same method to the external world, and you're finding the connecting points, and it seems like you're combining everything into one powerful structure. So do you think you wanna research maybe civilizations that have left on your national land, research the special properties of your nation on a soul level? I think it will help you discover more about the future of your purpose, because it looks to me you guys are going out there in the world, but you're combining, uniting nationalities and cultures and countries. And in order to do that, you must know very well your roots and where you come from, so that you don't get persuaded in the many notions of the many different cultures. And you can use yourself and perhaps your identity as this middle middle point, center point, where everything collides together. So you'll be building something multicultural, and it may have to do with archaeological discoveries and philosophies, religions. And I think that you had this ability in the past, this natural born talent or magic that I was talking about. I do feel some of you have dabbled with chaos magic in some lifetimes, but I think most of you did not fully give into it, because you have the Queen of Cups, and that shows strong heart and strong love, and chaos doesn't allow a lot of harmony, right? It's very contradictory. Although the Queen of Cups is the ultimate feminine energy, and the inverted version of the feminine is chaos. So I think you've been calming down and healing your inner feminine, your anima, and not allowing it to get chaotic, or to make you self-destructive. Instead, you've been becoming a person, an individual that can help people who are on the edge of self-destruction to rebuild themselves and to find themselves. And you've been turning this magician ability to combine all elements, all things into a synthesized thing. You've been using this ability to help people recollect themselves after they've been scattered, and build themselves as this strong unit of the many pieces that make up who they are. And I think you can do this even with projects. You combine things and you merge them into one powerful structure. I don't know why I'm hearing maps. Some of you could be literally drawing out maps, painting maps, doing something with that. Because I'm seeing your hands are involved a lot in what you do, and through your hands you bring a lot of mediums together. This could be about painting even, or something of that kind. It can be about the type of information you combine and the type of mediums that hold that information that you use, like books and computers and people and photographs and paintings and all of it. And you pile up all of these gadgets and tools from all time frames, like vintage objects to the most modern technology, and you just put it all together and you get going with your purpose and you get going with your projects and with your work. All right. So if you've been so far feeling like you're doing this, I think you're on the right path. I'm actually getting a lot of ascended energy here. I really love the energy here. So perhaps let's get some encouragement from your spirit guides. Oh wow, I'm hearing something interesting with these two cards right here. I'm almost hearing your higher self say, I've died in many worlds, and that's why I know a lot. You've died on many different territories, whether this is on Earth or beyond Earth. You've died in many worlds or dimensions, astral planes. And it's like, some of you even have past lives where you've passed on in your sleep. And of course, that sounds like a very common thing that happens, but what happens with you is when you do that, it's like the moment of your passing, especially in previous incarnations, is very magnetic. It's like in that last moment where you pass, you open up a portal or you're nearby a portal on the planet where you're incarnated. You're nearby an energetic portal somehow that's very, very, very magnetic, and you're so very well remembers that feeling of getting sucked in. So if any of you has had a near-death experience, because you're so remembered to your magnetic abilities, you have that ability to just attract a lot of energies towards you, always being the eye of the storm. You've mastered this ability, and when you pass on, there's like this magnetic force attracting all thoughts and emotions of the people nearby you, even information about the land. You see the spirits that have so far occupied that space, and then you leave, and it's like you carry all of that information with you. So you kind of create this magnetic field or a vortex, a hole in time and space, if you will, that pulls in all of the information, all of the energy, and you take that as knowledge and power when you rise up and you ascend out of your physical body. And it seems to me you've done this on many different planes of existence, many dimensions, worlds, star systems. So when you do this, you open this portal, you create this vortex, and I feel like some of you are still connected to all of these portals you've opened on different planes, and you are still magnetizing information to yourself from there. But of course, until you become conscious of this, it takes a lot of time. So I feel like in each incarnation you work with 1 or 2 portal maximum, because it's just impossible to channel all of them simultaneously, and they don't fit perfectly in each incarnation because of the time and the time and space of this timeline you're on in every different incarnation. That is why you work with only few of the portals you have opened. So a man of worlds, I think that this is what it means. Through you passing away at a certain place, you really consume all the knowledge about this place, all the light codes from it. And it's not in a way where you steal those, it's just you take on exactly what you need, but sometimes even a little bit more. You're just very, very magnetic. There are some individuals that are electric. They initiate, they give, they start and spark life, and others are very magnetic. They take on and take in information, data, and to some degree we all do both things, but some of us have one of the two faculties more accentuated. Now, I was going to say something here. Yeah, I wanted to get messages from your guides, right? And I think there was some information that came through, but it kind of slipped my mind, so we'll see if we can come back to it. Your lighthouse guides you home to the stars. I love that. So giraffe. The so giraffe is an interesting card. Um, and it talks about basically the bigger picture, and I think that this is exactly what you're doing with this globalized knowledge that you're gathering. Your lighthouse guides you home to the stars. I feel like at this moment on your journey, you are at a point where you're looking for a specific place that can energize you. And this may sound a little bit materialistic, but there are specific lands and countries or places, spaces, whatever. And when you go there and if you live there, it's gonna be much more optimal for your spirit. So I think you guys are on this exploration journey, and if you find yourself curious whether you can mentally travel to places by learning about them, or physically you feel just drawn to move around, not particularly because, oh, I want to visit this country so bad. You just want to travel and that's it. But it seems like your soul is setting you up on this exploration journey to find the proper place for you, because you do need the energetic support and you do need to get closer to your chakra of earth. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say with the passing away and creating portals. Your soul often chooses places that are precious portals to pass on. Maybe some of you even already have a place where you would like to be buried, or you would like your ashes to be spread. Maybe you have this special place. And some of you may even feel like, before I turn this age, I want to live nearby this sacred site or something like that. You are attracted to these places for a reason, not just to do activation and light work. It's like these are very special and important gates to accommodate your transition to the other side. Please never stop learning languages, even if you know two or three, I don't know, or four. Maybe you can improve on them or learn a fifth language. And if you don't know if you want to learn any modern language, learn an ancient one, a forgotten language, get an expert to help you out with this. I think it's also something you will benefit from. I do see translation being somehow part of your mission, translating documents and ancient books and scripts. With that emperor, I told you archaeological findings will be part of your journey, especially in the future. The hidden worlds, yes. Changing consciousness, awareness, extrasensory perception. Yeah, that's here. That's right here. You guys are developing strong intuition about worldly events, and you're becoming great prophets. You can predict, and you may think it's logical, or you may think it's just your logic, your mind telling you what's very likely to happen because it's just common sense or something. But I think for you, it's actually great intuition. Some of you. Might be even like in dreams, or I don't know, in meditation, or when you're contemplating such topics, you're kind of popping into secret rooms or places that are supposed to be sealed and hidden from the world. You're kind of going there and you're just seeing random things. You might hear people talking, you might hear art, you might see artifacts, you might get visions of the most random places. It could be a forest, it could be a cave. You never know where certain people gathered, and I think you guys are kind of piercing through that. With that soul giraffe, you really have this long neck that allows you. Oh my goodness, I imagined it and I just laughed at what I imagined. Anyways, you have this ability to really see from a very high point of perspective, to the point where it's kind of cool. You see from a high point of perspective, but you're able to zoom in on something hidden. Okay, something very particular and something that is consciously um, being obscured from the global view. The gift. I did tell you, didn't I? Present, honoring, and offering. Wow, this is gorgeous. I feel like you guys are at a stage where this amount of strength, this raw gift that you always possessed, it's like it's offered to you again. Okay, get going with it once again. Get back at the work. Because you've been doing a lot of research, I feel like you're very knowledgeable so far on the topics you need to be educated on. You're educated enough, but Spirit is like, are you ready to just take on the energy and work with it and deal with it and let it guide you without the books, without the system, without the rules? Maybe have a teacher. Anyone can benefit from a teacher. But yeah, like, are you ready? Just the potency of the energy to take you places, maybe challenge you a little bit, maybe be a little rough on you, but at the same time shape you and work with you. Because it's so strange, sometimes your powers or your talents or your gifts can feel like they don't belong to you, like they're their own entity, but they're not. They really are you. It's just that part of yourself sometimes you're afraid to own, that rawness and a little bit of chaos that you're afraid to own. And I think what happened in past lives when you dealt with some chaotic magic or chaos magic is you tried to control your chaos, not owning it. You're still afraid of it and you try to control it or to be empowered through it for selfish reasons. But in this lifetime, you're owning it, you're making it a part of yourself, and you're embracing and accepting that inner chaos. And this is when you start to work together a little bit better. In fact, I think a lot better. Your lighthouse guides you home to the stars. Yeah, that fire, that potency will guide you back home. And your lighthouse, I think, are the portals that will, it's like special portals take you to particular stargates for your incarnations. Stargate, imagine your consciousness emerging out of the sun or the soul of the sun. If you can imagine every star, every sun being actually a compound, a unity of many little fractals of light, and every fractal of light is a special soul, very ascended one, that gets sent out to into the planetary system. This is how you can imagine it. And when you incarnate through stars, it's kind of, you don't trace backward through the planets to go back to your sun, and through the sun get incarnated into another sun, into a higher sun, if you will. So you kind of jump over some planes because you've already mastered them and you were able to synthesize and remember that mastery. Because the loss of memory of what we've mastered sometimes can slow down our journey, make us go through the same things over and over again until we remember and learn to retain the information. And I think that this gift that's being offered to you is retaining the bigger picture of your many lifetimes, which will allow you to directly go straight into our sun, and from our sun go to other home stars. Okay. This is what I see so far about your evolution, Pile 2, and I don't want to force any other messages, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope that was sufficient enough. I hope it illustrated overall where you are at with your growth, with your progress, and I hope it resonates. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear, and I would love for you to like and subscribe to the channel and share my content with friends or your acquaintances that are also interested in these topics and who are into spirituality and psychic explorations. This is maybe the best way to support me, sharing my videos and my work. And yeah, another way to support me is donating to my Coffee link or to my PayPal link. They're both in the description box below as well. And I just wanted to thank you for spending this time with me, trusting me to read your energy, staying until this point. If you stayed, thank you. You're highly appreciated. And I will talk to you soon, Pile 2. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, last but not least. You guys, welcome to your reading. So, this is the deck you chose, the Accurate AF Tarot, which I already said, I mentioned I love. Let's get into it, okay? Let's get into your soul evolution. We're going to do past, present, future spread. Seeing birds. Wow. Oh my gosh. Seeing a lot of birds flapping their wings like crazy. It's like spirit really wants to talk to you, and you have a lot of people that really want to talk to you, and you have a lot of things that you're thinking about and you want to talk about. Whew, wow. Okay. If you guys are mediums, I think that you must place some boundaries on your mediumship. Okay. Queen of Cups, authentic and virtuous. Yes. You guys, I mean, you probably know this already, but you're quite empathic. Very empathic. And I'm hearing Angel Aura. I think that this is Angel Aura Quartz or Angel Aura Amethyst. I think that this is what this crystal is called. And I'm not sure if this crystal is even real. I feel like it's man-made, you know, because it's just, I don't know. I have to research this. If some of you know that, what are these crystals that really look like rainbows, basically, and have this chameleon shine to them? Are they real or are they man-made? I mean, I'm going to research this on my own, but if anyone just knows already without going to have to do the extra work of researching, please let me know in the comment section. But what I'm getting here is, because she's opening up this bubble and she's sitting in a shell, she really reminds me of the birth of Venus. And we have this angelic aura, this rainbow aura. So this is interesting, having the rainbow aura. Rainbow energy in general has been showing up a lot for me lately. Not personally, but more so to study it and to understand what it is. And so far, I think it's about higher Earth. I feel like when Earth blossoms into her next phase, there will be this rainbow bridge, if you want to call it, or a rainbow aura run through the etheric body of Earth and kind of expand and create and crystallize the higher phase or timeline of the planet. I think that rainbow energy is ultimately connected to this higher timeline of the planet, and I feel like some of you literally come from the future, from this higher timeline, and you're coming to teach, but you're so connected, you're feeling a lot of things. Yes, that's it. You guys definitely, most of you come from this future timeline. King of Swords, articulate and intelligent. Wow, beautiful. The Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. I love this. Because fire and water give birth to air, I do think of the King of Swords being a counterpart to this queen, but also a son, a child to the queen. So you guys must realize that whoever you're connecting with, they have to be part of this higher timeline. And of course, have compassion, whatever a soul is on their journey. But I feel like you have to be aligned with someone high vibrational and someone who shares ideals and goals that you deep inside feel are leading us towards a higher timeline, and I think your children are going to continue this legacy, obviously. And because, interesting, this is coming from the past, but I feel like these decisions have been made by the future version of you to come together with someone and combine emotion and intelligence together. You could be a very artistic couple. I see a lot of couples here. King of Pentacles or King of Rings, responsibility and abundance. So interesting. Okay. What I see is the being that mostly wants to talk to you is the earth. In the past, you developed a strong telepathic, your past being your future, by the way. So in your future that already took place, you developed a very strong telepathic connection with the planet. Exactly what she needs. She showed you exactly what she needed and exactly what would be helpful to her. And because I'm seeing a group, a brotherhood or a sisterhood, or brothers and sisters, I'm seeing this group from the future working together, this community, and you are very few selected ones that can communicate with the planet. And when I say very few selected ones, I don't mean like 10 people. I honestly mean like a larger community, but it's just that you're not the majority of the population or anything like this. And you're that community that learns how to communicate with the planet and to talk to her as a sentient being telepathically. And you've been sent here on a mission to translate for us, who don't have the same gift. Present. The Empress, centered and abundant. Oh my gosh. And the Hanged One, the Hanged Man, transition and sacrifice. Yep, you did sacrifice that future timeline to come back and try again and try to improve things for everyone. And what did I say? You guys are going to give birth to a generation that is, you may think, for example, the Gen Z, the youngest generation, and even the newborn children now are the transition, but I feel like the Gen Z and the newborn children now, even especially actually the newborns now, they are going to birth this transitional generation that is going to be very pivotal. That might be this overall, not everybody will fall under this definition, but an overall collective that will have these rainbow auras, I feel like, are coming through. So you guys are at an evolutionary stage where you're actually sacrificing something that you really appreciated and loved to give birth and nurture something else. Maybe you're sacrificing yourself, your wishes and desires to give birth to something and nurture it. It seems like your mission is becoming so much bigger than you. You don't care what happens to you. You just want to do your mission. That's what it looks like to me, at least. Oops, sorry, but we have the Ace of Cups and alignment, progress with the Eight of Wands, and there is the rainbow. Again, spirituality and fulfillment with the Ace of Cups. Oops. This is actually for here, and this is for the future. This is future energies. Let's continue. Contemplation, reevaluation, speculation and opportunity, Seven of Cups. A lot of cups in your future. A lot of emotions. I feel like when you finish your work here, you will try to re-merge back with your family. I'm getting a lot of lunar, moon qualities and energies to you. Your gifts and your abilities are very subtle, and so is your knowledge. And in your actions, you can be very fluid, pile 3. So, in today's day and age, you may struggle a little bit with this fluidity. It's like, I need consistency, right? But your fluidity allows you to give to the world exactly what it needs at the exact time. And consistency constrains your creativity, and it blocks you a lot more than you would like to admit. I feel like parenthood and sacred and gentle parenting is a deep topic you're supposed to explore in this lifetime and few future lifetimes, at this stage of your evolution, basically. I think you have manifested great feminine abilities, psychically, intuitively, creatively, intellectually, in all areas, to be quite honest. You've manifested very well refined feminine energy, and you're taking your time with it. You definitely have a lot of seeds to plant and a lot of information to share about this, about feminine harmony and energy, about the nurturing ability, the life-giving ability, the ability to hold energy within. I think it's part of your current stage of development, learning to be a vessel for yourself and for your soul, for spirit, for spiritual information. You're developing the ability to have visions, is what I'm getting. Get your imagination going. Get very vivid and very specific and detailed in your imagination. Wow. You have Rhodonite with Cancer energy in the throat chakra, and you have Opal once again with Cancer energy in the heart chakra. You guys, motherhood is a big deal. I think you didn't choose this deck randomly. I bet your subconscious was attracted to the soft pastel colors because I'm getting a lot of Kuan Yin and Mother Mary energy and a lot of connection to that mythology. Mother Mary giving birth, all of these things. Her son having this sacred legacy, etc., etc., you may really resonate with that. Whether you're religious or not, you may resonate with it in a different folklore tale, because a lot of the times the religious mythology, you can see it even in stories from tribes and folklore stories, because these are very universal mythologies. You're learning to speak about what you feel. Some of you may have North Node in Cancer, North Node in the 4th house. So you're learning how emotions and fluidity can be exactly what people need sometimes, exactly what the earth needs, exactly what humanity needs. You're learning how sometimes your vulnerabilities or your soft spots are actually needed by the world, alright? They're needed, required, and valuable. And even if you're a masculine, you're working on this within your relationship with your mother. If you have a partner who is a female, or you're working with your inner feminine energy as well. You're learning how your vulnerability as a male representative can be nurturing to the collective and educational and healing. So you guys are learning to speak from the heart, and you see that the rhodonite, the colors on the rhodonite remind me of some type of war or chaos, or like the birds that I had a vision of, the many birds, you know, the flapping wings during sunset. That's what I'm seeing, kind of. So this is like learning to speak gently in a crowd of not so gentle voices, in a crowd of loud voices. You're learning to you're learning to be heard even when you're quiet, to make a statement with silence. It's not an easy task, but it is the way to go, and that's how you guys open gates in the consciousness of people, and you open an opportunity for them to align with this higher timeline of Earth. Some people do that alignment through discipline, radical action, through movement and, you know, passion, inspiration. You do it through softness and silence and holding space. And I know it may not sound like the most exciting thing or like the most entertaining thing, because we often don't associate softness with entertainment necessarily, or with something valuable or productive. Definitely not, but it actually is. Agate, once again, the heart chakra with Gemini. They all have their eyes closed. I don't know if this is a thing in the deck, but it's really, and even if it is, I mean, you chose this deck, so it's significant. Yeah, they all have their eyes closed. You guys are teaching people how to turn inward. You're teaching people how to see without their eyes. You're teaching them how to train their sixth senses by experience, honestly. And another thing that I had a vision of is some of you have this ability. I don't know if it's about staring at someone else's eyes and being able to really read their soul, just as the cliche goes, but you're actually able to do it. Or if this is about your third eye development, or you activating the third eye within other people. I just feel like you stimulate people looking deeper, looking further, looking beyond themselves. Where are you on your evolution journey currently, and where are you going? you have Earth Angel energy, despite, maybe feeling like a starseed, like you're more into the extraterrestrial field rather than the Earth field. You feel like an Earth Angel because you do come from the future. You are apparently a starseed, but you're an Earth seed. And that's why I would say an Earth Angel. The riddle. Yes, this is about your past being your future. You guys are time travelers 100%. This always reminds me of this, I think it's either Danish or German. I don't know. It's a series on Netflix. Danish or German, not sure. But it's called Dark, and it's about time traveling. And this is the symbol that is always used in the series. And whenever I see it, apart from the Holy Trinity and all of the aspects the Holy Trinity represents, and basically the paradox that we all need each other, otherwise we wouldn't exist. All polarities are codependent on one another. Apart from that, I also think of time traveling whenever I see this archetypal card right now. And even in the back, you can see wings. It reminds me of wings. So I feel like maybe some of you thought you were in the dark, or you were confused, or you were not on the right track, or you were even the bad guy, the dark angel, the fallen angel. And yes, kind of you are a fallen angel, but you decided to descend. You decided to give up the higher timeline and come here and fight this battle, and you will find it as gently as you can. But Spirit is saying don't be afraid sometimes to use a little bit of force, because this is what you're dealing with currently. And we know you want to protect your heart and keep it pure, but sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Sometimes it's really necessary. And it's really cool. We have a very red star, a yellowish, just like our sun star, and we have a blue star. So if these resonate with some of the star systems you've been researching, that's just an extra confirmation. What else do I have here? We have a lot of Venus energy. It's almost like I'm looking at the Venusian planetary colors that are manifested on the physical plane. That rouge, orangey color. So your current stage is kind of a time loop and a riddle, and Spirit is saying to be preoccupied with the present and not so much with the past and the future, because your past and future are one. And your soul really wants to focus on the present moment. That's why you have the Hanged Man. You must be in meditation here and now. You may feel guilty for, I don't know, like not educating yourselves enough on history or the past and the future, right? Things like that. You may still read, but it's like, it's not enough, I'm not smart enough, or whatever, I must learn more. But the thing is, you are here to empty your mind as much as you can, or to create a focus on the present moment, even if your mind is not fully empty, which is almost impossible. To create a focus on the present moment and be meditative in the present moment, and share information that will be valuable about and in this present moment. The info is about the present moment, and it's valuable right now. And no other time but right now. So this is showing me that your heart, because we have some Gemini energy, your heart and your emotions and that fluidity, that lunarity you have to yourself, lunar qualities, they will always take you in different directions, and you will always change your paths. It's like you will always reintroduce new services, you will always learn new things, having new majors, making new friends, living in new places. But that is totally normal and okay. You're meant to be here and now, but it doesn't matter where you are here and now. You see, it's like here and now and the present moment doesn't mean you have to root yourself and never change. It's just that you must always be present with the new state you will be embodying. You're always embodying a higher and a higher layer of your consciousness, Pile 3, because I do see the amounts of healing going into this. I think I've mentioned this term before in some of my previous readings. You guys have this soft, gentle revolution, which is very, very needed, I believe. And it's strange, but there's also something about renewing your eyesight. I don't know if you guys are getting glasses, you're doing something with your eyes, you're carrying colored lenses that literally make you see different things that you couldn't see before. Wow. But you might experience some optical stuff. You guys may want to get checked out, because I literally right now experienced like an optical illusion. I thought that was something that I should get off my cart, like it was dirty or something, but actually it's part of the illustration. So right when I was talking about the eyesight, so you guys might be seeing things like they're separate or they're together, and they turn out to be the opposite. They're together or they're separate. And you might see things that are not actually there. You might be doing a lot of scrying. I think that this is actually a stage of your psychic development, scrying, because I feel like until now you've been usually merging and intuiting about stuff, but you haven't been allowing to get visions, because I feel like there were some fears that weren't addressed, and I think you guys are actually ready to reach into that, reach into the mirror, reach into the scrying surface, and overcome that fear. I think you're ready. And this can be even submerging yourself or plunging yourself into a territory you've been only reading about and dreaming about, a field of work or expertise or something, and Spirit is saying you're finally ready to actually experience it, see it, witness it with your own eyes. So don't close your eyes to opportunities, don't close your eyes to insight, Pile 3. Meditation can help you with overcoming these fears. Something about physical meditation, right? Moving your body and concentrating on the movement. This is the best way to get present and grounded and meditative at the same time, because you guys have a lot of water and you'll be moving towards a timeline where you'll be dealing with a lot of water and dealing with a lot of the astral plane. It seems like your psychic abilities will open up to a new layer where you'll be a lot more clairvoyant than usual, a lot more insightful and intuitive and medium oriented than usual. And that's why now it's a grounding stage. Bring yourself into the body so your instincts feel confident and safe enough to open up. If you've been feeling blocked, like you're only, it's almost like you receive psychic downloads, but you're getting numbed by them because you can't consciously process them or actually see what they are. They're so passively coming to you that they numb you and you're a little tired. That's why getting in the body, when you get into your physical vehicle, it's like you're telling your subconscious, you're safe, it's okay, you're real, you're grounded, you're here and now, nothing can hurt you, because you feel that body, you feel the present moment, and your logic and your subconscious know that we're safe, okay, we're cool. And then it can actually open itself because it trusts that safety, and it's more willing to see the things, to not numb them and make it this tiresome experience that waits on you in the form of thoughts and dreams and visions that you forget or you procrastinate on, and you lack clarity. And when you lack clarity, you get frustrated. When the subconscious feels safe, I really believe you will open up to verbalize, conceptualize these visions, and when you understand them, they will no longer weigh on you as something as this riddle, as this mystery you must resolve, but you never get to do that. So if you've been having fears blocking you from properly processing your psychic experiences, getting in your body will help. The sword. Yes, exactly. The next stage will be cutting through illusions, and this is very interesting. Some of you may have two kids, and one is very spiritual, the other isn't. And you're trying to work out an ethical challenge here, not an ethical challenge, moral challenge here about preference of character, because you love both of your kids equally. It's just that the more they grow and the more they will become individuals, you will relate to them as children, but you will also feel this, preference for one character or personality type than the other. So you will learn how to combine them or dissolve the preference point and appreciate both of them for who they are and the qualities they bring, no matter if they personally relate or resonate with you. But the other thing is, I feel like you guys are deciphering between two possible mates or two possible partners, and you're deciding which one is better for you. And Spirit is saying with one of them, you're gonna be a vessel for higher energies. So it's gonna take a lot of shadow work, but you're gonna have a lot of preparation to receive a download, a child for my females who wants kids out there, or information, inspiration of a higher plane. With the other, it seems you'll be very safe and secure, but a little further from realizing your potential and purpose. And I think you will love both people very much, and they will love you both very much. And of course, this is not a message for everyone, this is a specific message for someone out there. But in general, this means that the next stage of your development will be discerning your emotions, honestly, because you have spiritual fulfillment with the Ace of Cups, so this spiritual bliss and unconditional love. Then you have the Four of Cups, contemplation, reevaluation, being a little dissatisfied, right? Being numb to your emotions. And then you have the Seven of Cups, delusion of euphoria and excitement. So you are discerning between different emotions and what they mean about your psychic experiences, which is very interesting. You see, the moon is between the two suns. That's really... And when I was receiving these very first cards about your past, I was channeling a lot about the myth of Camelot and King Arthur and Guinevere, but I didn't mention it because, I don't know, I feel like I was tripping on the names. I wasn't sure if I'm remembering them correct, so I was like, I better not say something I'm not aware of. But now I think I'm a little more confident to express that, especially with the sword and the two suns, two masculines, and the moon is choosing between them. So don't worry, that can be also metaphorical about you coming back from this higher timeline, and now you're choosing once again. It's like you needed to solidify the choice to make sure it was the right thing. You have another opportunity to choose one or the other timeline. Get back to where you were before in your future, or go in some other direction. And I think that you guys are gonna go back to where you were in your future for most of you. Because I think that most of you come from a higher timeline. But if in any case you come from a lower timeline, this is great, because the next stage for you is this opportunity to reevaluate the previous decisions that brought you on a lower timeline and actually fix that and heal that. Okay, So this is what I see about your evolution. Remember, heart chakra and throat chakra are the ones that you're working within the most. Okay, I hope this resonates with you. I hope this is helpful, somehow useful to you. Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your commentary about the experiences with the reading, and make sure to check out the timestamps. Not the timestamps, oh my goodness. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Sharing is the best way to support me, and you can check out my links for donations if you're feeling generous in the description box below. That's it from me. I wish you an amazing rest of the week. Whenever you watch this, an amazing season of the zodiacal sign we're in. Just amazing time, and I'm sending you lots of high vibes, and I hope and wish to talk to you soon, so make sure you'll be present on my channel for my next video. Bye.